It's the JT Cho Show!
10, 9,
Oh, one's destroyed. One's fucked up.
3,
Got one. Yeah, that's fine. Let me. Yes! Yes! Easy, dude. Yes. I love that. No, I think one person's here now.
Oh, really?
Check.
Oh, hey, man.
We're going to do that whole thing over again. Welcome back to another edition of the JT Show.
We have beer.
We have beer.
We didn't have to go get it.
We, the first, 2 minutes of the podcast was quite literally me doing the intro while Cut was grabbing beer. And now the good thing is, we don't need to have the ashtray on the table. But now that the JT Show is finally starting,
Whose birthday is it,
it's
man?
June 30th, last day of June. I do want to say that it has been a rough week here in Michigan
Oh, yeah.
because of the air quality.
Yeah, the air quality's been shit.
You know, and people keep sharing on the old TikTok.
It's been like, we've had 3 good weeks out of the last, 6? Because the air quality was shit a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
And now people are like, there's gas leaks in Chicago, Home Depot. And I'm just like, dude, everybody needs to chill out with these conspiracy theories.
It was just around our area.
Yeah.
Not like our area city-wise, but state-wise.
Yeah.
It surrounded a half state over all around Michigan. But all of Michigan was fucking engulfed.
Yeah, so the last day of June, pretty bad air quality, but June 30th, it's Gata from the hit TV show
Shout out fucking
Dave.
Gata.
Also, Gata's a rapper.
He's a
And
rapper.
so, shout out to Gata. Happy birthday, Gata. You've liked probably 3 of my tweets.
At least.
So we're going to do a birthday shot for Gata. And we're going to chop this up for the old...
I have a birthday. You know who else's birthday it is?
Who else's birthday is it?
Mike fucking Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
It's Mike Tyson's birthday today.
This might be one of the hardest crews for birthdays in celebrity.
You know who else? There's another big one too.
Tell me.
Michael fucking Phelps.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're an athlete,
So there's what?
an artist,
24 gold medals of birthdays today. How many did Mike get for boxing? Was it just 4 or 3?
maybe 1.
Oh, I thought it was more than 1. Because it was
I think
every
so.
4 years. I didn't know.
I don't know. He boxed in the Olympics every year.
Oh, he did it when he was 16 and he fucking crushed it.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
he has 3.
Okay. Yeah, he did it at 16, got a gold. And then his second time there, I remember Joe Rogan talking about it, and he was like, dude, him walking through Olympic Village, it was insane. No one was going to beat him. The heavyweight title? Are you kidding me?
You type in Mike and it's Michael Phelps. He won gold medals as the 1981 and 1982 Junior Olympic Games. And holds the Junior Olympic record for the quickest knockout at 8 seconds.
Oh, so it was just Junior Olympics.
Yeah.
They probably don't even have boxing in the Olympics, do they?
I think they do.
Do they?
I think they have to.
I have no idea. If not, they should.
I mean,
They
if
should,
they have it
they
in
should put MMA in the fucking Olympics.
they've talked about it.
I know they do normal wrestling.
I think because why would you have Junior Olympic boxing? Yeah, Olympic boxing's a thing. It's always been-
Who's been our guys for Olympic boxing? How come we don't have any fucking big bodies in there?
Hey,
Did they not need it? Because it doesn't pay very well. Their normal sport probably pays more than it would be if they won a gold medal. That's probably like an NBA thing. The only reason you would go is to get a gold medal.
The featherweight by a dude from the United States named Duke Reagan.
Never fucking heard of him.
Lightweight from that was silver for US. From Batsagravi, BATYRGAZIEV.
No fucking
That's Albert Batsagravi from ROC, wherever the fuck that is.
No
the gold was for the lightweight was Andy Cruz from Cuba and Keyshawn Davis from the United States.
I haven't heard of any of these guys.
Welterweight was from Cuba. But yeah, dude,
Why isn't fucking Ngannou or something like that? Why aren't they doing fucking Olympic boxing? Probably because it doesn't pay much, right? That's got to be it.
yeah, it's a lot of commitment. You have to do qualifiers, so the whole thing with the NBA with their Olympic team.
I feel like
Well,
I feel like if you're Ngannou and your country's like, hey, do you want to come box for us? I doubt they're going to do trials.
yeah, but you look at the Redeem team, right? And they essentially told these players, you're going to have to commit your summers to USA Basketball. So,
well, yeah, that's different because it's a team sport. You got to get used to playing with the team.
Right.
Yeah.
And boxing is probably a little different.
Boxing is just single guy. It's not like you have to get used to a new training regimen. You just do your normal thing. It's what you do for a living.
Yeah, but you might have to go to qualifiers years before, and it might
maybe. I mean, the country doesn't qualify.
You have to qualify as the country. Even the United States has to qualify. Okay, so there's.
I know we qualify for soccer.
So essentially, tournaments are like there's a big tourney too.
The U.S. isn't ever gonna not be in the fucking. But all right, so what I'm saying is they don't have to like try out for their country.
Yes.
Like if we had if it's like let's say it's 1992, and Tyson's like, hey, I want to box for the U.S. The U.S. head coach of the boxing team isn't going to be like, all right, well, you have to fight your way up.
No, they have to compete with other countries for placement.
For the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So even with basketball,
say,
if you win a tourney, so Olympics are every 4 years.
If Floyd Mayweather wanted to box in the Olympics right now, they wouldn't be like, you better try out for the team first.
Yeah, no.
In my head, that's what I thought you were saying. They have to try out to be on the team.
Yeah, so essentially every 4 years for winter and summer.
Mm-hmm.
So at the 2-year mark, there's a big tourney. If you win that tourney, then your team automatically qualifies. And then if you don't, then you have
accrue a certain amount of points on
then
placement.
You have a world regional qualifier where you play a bunch of teams and the top 2 or whatever make it. So, I mean, it's probably similar in boxing to where those might conflict with their fight schedules, with their training camps, or they're like, I don't give a fuck about fighting.
They probably don't because it doesn't pay anything, and honestly, that's not really that big of a fucking thing. The only reason to do it is if you want a gold medal.
They might have stricter fucking guidelines for testing.
For steroids use. Probably looser, to be honest.
I don't know.
Looser than the U.S.
I'd say tighter than the U.S.
I think it's looser.
Well, you're saying looser to the UFC rather than looser to.
I mean, I'm saying normal boxing on pay-per-view. I think there's less hoops to jump through boxing on pay-per-view.
Yes.
In the Olympics.
No. I think there's more strenuous drug testing. Yeah.
You might be right.
Because after the Russian scandal.
That's what I was thinking of. Because people get away with it all the fucking time.
Yeah, but
and then they get caught
but not
down
anymore.
The road.
Yeah. So I think now it's much looser. Because even with so Conor apparently, I think he didn't drug test in time to qualify to fight for the remainder of this year, so now he has to wait till 2024 to step in the ring. So with the U.S. Olympics, that whole window might be a lot shorter, where you have to.
It's got to be a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's probably more strenuous, and plus they have more randoms.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. All I know is Mike Tyson blew it out of the water when he went, and obviously he didn't do it again if he didn't win a gold medal as an adult.
Fuck it.
So it probably just didn't pay as much at the time, and the only reason you would do it is if you wanted a gold medal.
Yeah.
If you didn't want a gold medal, why the fuck are you going anyway?
You already have one.
Yeah. It's the same thing in basketball too. Why the fuck would LeBron go back and play another Olympics? He's already got 2 gold medals. Why the fuck? Probably 3 now.
There's only one way that LeBron James plays in the next Olympics, is if they put Bronny Jr. on the team.
Yeah.
Then
Bronny will not be involved in this year's Olympics. Could college kids can fucking compete in the Olympics?
16-year-olds. You gotta be 16.
Oh, so high school kids can compete in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Bronny, Bryce, and
that
LeBron
that 1 year where
God, what if that's a thing in 2 years? What if Bronny, Bryce, and LeBron run the court in the Olympics? They just put them on as alternates, and they just let them come off the floor against Argentina or someone they're gonna blow out of the water.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Could
you imagine that? That's got to be the pinnacle of sports.
I think my favorite Olympic sport is basketball because we just have the best athletes in America.
Yeah.
And I know that
by a mile.
I know Ngannou's coming across, and there's some teams here and there that give us some competition, but overall athletes, probably 80% American to the rest of the world population for NBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely growing. It's definitely growing.
It's definitely, you get European drafts, you got Jokic, which is one of the best basketball players.
Jokic, Luka.
I'm not saying European people can't play basketball. I'm saying in the NBA, it's predominantly.
There's superstars in the NBA right now that are foreign.
Yeah, you're correct. But when you collectively,
Kukoc definitely,
but when
like,
you
was part of opening the window
when you
there.
collectively take everybody from all the best NBA teams,
I think you're right. I think right now at 80% of the top 100 would probably be. What do you think though of the top 100? How many of the top 100 do you think are American born?
NBA total American players.
I think you're about right. I think maybe the top 80.
There are approximately 450 players in the NBA. Each one of them, 30 NBA teams, have 15 players on their act. Oh,
There's only 450.
as of
that sounds right.
as of 2022 and 23, Canada has produced the most foreign NBA players with 61.
That makes sense.
From European countries, France has produced 62. 42. Serbia has produced 30. Australia has produced 33, and New Zealand's produced 3. That's a tough stat to. Oh, here it is.
Out of the
According
top
to the
100
racial
players.
equality activist Richard Lapchick of the NBA, in 2021 was composed of 73.2% of black players. Well, that I don't care what color of your skin. I care where you come from.
Where were you born?
What percentage of the NBA is international? That's a great.
There
way
it
to-
is.
International players, the NBA is classified as those born outside the U.S. In 2020, 21.8% of NBA players were classified as international players.
nailed it.
Right on the
You
money.
fucking nailed it.
Right,
You
1%,
nailed it.
2% off.
So now, out of the top 100 players in the NBA, how many of them do you think are foreign?
5. Luca, 10. Probably.
Top 100?
No, I thought
It's
you said
gotta-
top 20.
No, top
Oh,
100.
no, I thought you said out of the top 100 players in the NBA, how many are foreign?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So probably 20.
20 sounds about right.
Because,
yeah,
I
if
mean-
you go off the percentage, it's about 21.
Yeah.
But, like, the top 100, it's
Ben
gotta be a
Simmons
different
doesn't
scale.
make this list.
Ben Simmons isn't in the NBA.
No. Did you? Okay, so by the way, in sports, the dude for the Yankees against the Athletics just pitched a no hitter
Yeah,
for the 24th.
congratulations.
Should have been the 25th no hitter in U.S. history.
You're right.
But
100% right.
Sanchez got
Missed call.
robbed by
Missed call.
terrible
call
job.
first.
That's the greatest try. Oh, and
Foot and
speaking
a
of
half.
MLB baseball, I know there's Pat gives the MLB a lot of shit. Pat McAfee. But we're going to the fucking A's Tigers
Oh,
game
yeah.
on July 4th.
Fuck you.
So that'll be fun. What kind of a shirt did you buy?
So I got the. I wish I had it now. It wasn't at the house. I thought it was at an Amazon package, and I was like, sick. This is what I'm gonna wear for it. So what was it? A couple weeks ago, the Oakland A's did. The fan base did a reverse protest. Mm-hmm. So they were like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here," and they were handing out free T-shirts at the gate.
They're making them straight fresh at the
Free
game.
T-shirts at the fucking gate, dude. You can just put them on, and it's a green shirt, and it says
Sell.
"sell" or "sell the team," and the A is like the Oakland A's logo or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I ordered one off of Amazon. I could get a light green or a dark green. I decided to go with dark green because it matches the color a little more. And we'll probably throw a picture of it or something up because it's kind of cool. We'll take a picture at the game. We'll take a picture of the game. That's what we'll put up.
Yeah, I might dress like Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Um,
May or may not get on TV because I'm wearing the Sell Oakland T-shirt in fucking Detroit. They might pan to it and be like, "Oh, look, they made it all the way out here." So we'll see. If they did, roll the clip.
yeah. You'll have,
Oh,
a, you'll,
weird, they didn't do
you'll
it.
have a sick A's hat.
I will have a sick A's hat, and it belongs to this gentleman because he likes the colors.
No, well, I don't like the colors.
Well, it's yellow and green.
No, that's not the reason at all.
Not at all.
No, I think the A's have the top 5 hats in MLB history. So if I can rank,
I hope they don't change the fucking color scheme when they get to Oakland.
so I think if you look at every logo in the MLB, my top 5 favorite hats, and it's not my, well, I can't say favorite. I'm going to say the top 5 most popular. Yankees is number 1, which is unfortunate. I will never own a Yankees hat. I don't care how crispy the NY logo looks. I don't care how good it is. I don't care how good they are. I hate the fucking Yankees, and I'll never own it. I think the second most classic hat in MLB history is the Oakland A's fucking logo. There's something about the A that I love.
I used to really like the old school
The
Milwaukee
elephant.
hat.
Oh yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers.
The old school one though.
Which one you talking about,
old
the
one
glove?
just had the M on it.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
so I think
I had one of those when I was in high school. I wore it every day.
third on my list. It's a little bias. but it's the Detroit Tigers, the classic D,
Yeah.
and it's the away jersey.
I give less of a
because
fuck about
it
Detroit.
because it has a little bit of tin in it. But I'm talking about the logo of the D on the hat.
Not a
like,
fan.
okay, number 4, my favorite. I think is most. I think it's probably 1990s through 2002. Toronto Blue Jays hat.
The Blue Jays hats are sick.
I have a Blue Jay. I'm on my second Blue Jays hat and my second A's hat. My A's hat that I originally had, I wore for softball, worn out, bought a brand new one.
Yeah.
But my first Blue Jays hat got stolen in tech school because somebody was like, "That's a crispy hat." I'm like, "I keep my hats crispy that are nice."
Bitches.
And then probably 5, which the team I hate the most, probably currently in the MLB right now, is probably the San Francisco Giants. I like the SF San Francisco.
I fucking hate the Giants. There's so many Giants fans around where I grew up, and they were really good when I was in high school, and it just sucked because we just always lost to them.
Yeah.
And it sucked, and there were so many fans around. It just sucked. That'd be like when you were growing up, if the fucking Lions were really good and they just beat the shit out of the fucking Packers all the time. But obviously that wasn't a thing.
There was like 20 years of my life where like Green Bay didn't lose at Lambeau.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like seeing a division opponent.
There was, dude, when I was in high school, when Randy Moss was with the Patriots, only his last 3 games that he played with us, he didn't score a touchdown. Every other game he played in with us, that means 16 plus touchdowns a year from Randy Moss the whole time he was in New England. That's fucking insane. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
a maniac. I love that. That's what I had from my whole high school tenure, was just Randy Moss and Wes Welker going ham. It was sick. I loved it. I tried to get an A's Hawaiian tee, but I looked on Amazon. If you guys want to look on Amazon, you check it out. Ain't shit. Not shit on there. We're also going to try to do the 999.
Are we officially going to try it?
It's almost official. I'm double checking with Chris if her friend is driving. Double checking with her.
Yeah.
Because she mentioned something about her giving gas money, and I was like, "You said she's driving," and she was like, "I said she could drive," and I was like, "Yes, you did say she could drive," and that's when I said, "Okay, let me see."
I'll even sweeten the deal for your fine friend. She won't have to pay for her ticket if she drives and doesn't expect gas money.
Okay,
That's fair.
all right.
And then I mean, like,
I'll let her know.
yeah, because
know.
honestly, because I'm gonna have to give cash back to her anyways.
I'll let her know without that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'll let her know.
Yeah.
That'll be my first thing. Will be like, "Hey, she should drive," and we'll give her gas money. And if that doesn't sweeten the deal, I'll be like, "Hey, she should drive. Tickets free. Good to go."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll buy her first drink when we get there or something, because she's definitely gonna have a drink when we get
Yeah.
there.
So
Fucking 9
I do like the alternative of we can watch a Tigers game here, and
It's worth so much more at the fucking
It
game,
is.
though.
It is.
It's way more expensive at the game because when we did the math on it, 9 beers is going to cost us close to $90,
yeah.
and then 9 dogs at another
45.
40. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're both going to spend $150 on dogs and beers.
Yeah.
But it's fine. for the game.
I say
how many more MLB games are you going to go to the rest of your life?
you're right. I'd say that what we do is we get a poster board,
100%.
and then
One of the little fold out ones, or just a big piece of paper.
just the one that's like the ones that's
Okay.
35 cents at Walmart.
Tomorrow.
We get the thick Sharpie,
Oh, I have one of those in my golf bag.
and then we write
Yeah.
cut JT, the 999 challenge,
Yeah.
and 9 dogs, 9 beers, 9
Yeah,
innings.
we'll do 3 big 9s, and then underneath it challenge, and then in little writing we'll do 9 dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep the stats.
Yeah.
We'll see what we're doing.
Oh my.
You want to take a pause?
No, we don't.
can.
I'll take this call later.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it important?
No.
Okay.
It's probably just a lot of worry talk for no reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. By the way, golf today. That's why we're dressed kind of like Happy and Gilmore.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm definitely Gilmore.
I was parring the backs.
Dude, you've been on fire some of these days that we've played. Like you've definitely gotten a lot better since I've gotten here, which is annoying. Because we were a lot closer in skill when I first got here.
Yeah.
Like for the first 2 months I was here, you were smoking me, and then I started catching you, and I was like, "Sweet, we're pretty fucking even."
Dude, after
And
that
the
first
last,
initial
the
season.
last month and a half that we've been going out, I just can't beat you. I can't.
You beat me once
It's
this
kind of
year.
close. Yeah, I've beaten you once.
Yeah.
Well, I've beaten you a couple times on like 9s with like your dad when you've been having a bad day, and but it's been like 98 to 99 or 95 to 96 or whatever.
Yeah.
But for 98% of this year, you've just been smoking.
I think that ultimate leap for you now is
If my drive stays straight,
I'd say this one thing about your game, and it was the same thing for my game 2 years ago. I took my first set of clubs for over 11 years
yeah,
to their maximum potential. And now that I have this new set and I'm dialing down the distances I know exactly what my pitch hits. I know exactly what my 7 hits. And getting those and then I also listen to a little bit of Phil in my life.
Mm-hmm.
When it's a hot day like it was today at 89,
Ball's gonna go far.
the ball's going to carry.
Yeah.
And so there was one where I hit
I wasn't really overshooting my shots though. I felt like my distances were semi-fine. It was more or less. It was hard for me to get off the tee, and it was hard for me to do my long approach shots. It was the same problem I had last year. I got to dial in my driver, and I got to dial in my long hybrids and irons.
The shot that put it together for me today was the par 3, I think, where I teed it up with an 8, and I hit it straight as ever, and then it landed short side, but like I still parred the hole.
I think the only thing I do better than you is like around the green. Mm-hmm. Not on the green, but around the green.
I think putting you got me.
Putting would be closer, I think. Putting would be closer.
I think putting for you is a 55-45.
I think within 50 feet of the green, I think I'm better than you. And then on the green, I think it's a little more of a toss-up than you do. But I think everything else, like long irons, driver, you smoke me in. I can kind of keep up some days with my driver. My long irons, I never have.
But whenever I golf, I'm secretly like, all right, I'm beating cut a little bit. I got to keep that.
I know you are.
I have to.
I try not to look at the score as much as I can. I'm just taking it a whole of the time.
I like to know where I'm at.
I hate it. I hate that. Because I remember when we first started playing, you used to keep score and add up numbers as we went. I fucking hated
I stopped doing that with you, but
I hated that.
But I like to know what I got on holes, so I can just kind of be like, all right, what are you doing wrong?
One of the main reasons I don't like that is because pro golfers, they kind of know. Like, they know where they're at in the leaderboard. Like, their guys let them know, like, hey, we're in top 10, or hey, we're 2 strokes back from the leader, or stuff like that. But they don't, like, know their strokes the whole time, because their guy's the one keeping score, and they're like, oh, 5 on that, 5 on that, yeah, we're good to go.
Yes and no.
Well, I listened to a podcast of them talk. It was Rory and, what's the other guy that's foreign? Victor Hovland.
Yeah.
Neither one of them, they don't like knowing their scores, like their overall scores.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
like knowing how far back from the person in front of them they are, and if they're in the top 10.
So they know they don't really know what their partner's doing, and unless you're paying attention to each hole.
Oh, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Unless they're in the top 10 leaderboard.
The only thing they really do is they check with their caddy and they go, how many strokes was that hole? And he's like 4. And then they just write down the 4 in their book, they close it, and they put it back in their pocket.
Well, they don't. The golfers don't keep the scores in their book. Their book, that's like their rangefinder for the course.
Right.
The caddy's the one that has the
scores.
Yeah,
that's the one that turns
and
it
that's
in.
why the caddies get fucked up, because they're like if they fuck up the scorecard. The caddies have the official scorecard. I have no idea.
Yeah, but the golfer has to sign it officially.
Yeah, at the end of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it like after each hole. He doesn't
Right.
sign off on each hole.
No.
It's at the end of it. He signs it, and then he sees his score.
Yeah.
And so I try to play my golf like that.
And the
I
only
like to add
time
it up at
the
end
only time they see their scores is that there's those big fucking.
if they're in the top 10.
And what's crazy about those boards is they're fucking crazy to read, because it's not just.
Well, they have so in majors and stuff, they have the guys that follow them, and
Yes.
they have like the -6, -4 on
Yeah.
their score thing.
Yes.
So they know where they're at.
But
but you never see them like sitting there staring at it and going, okay, that's what I need for the next one. They're just like, all right, on to the next. Put myself in a position to hit my next shot well.
I just like to know that it's on the paper, because if not, like a hole later, I'll forget what I shot the hole before.
I could honestly, if I needed to, I could look at the fucking scorecard, have it blank, and probably remember each one of my holes. I might have like 2 strokes difference from what I actually got, but it'd be pretty close.
Yeah.
Like the difference between mine, like a 101 and a 98, is nothing. Like that's obviously if I was shooting really well,
Yeah.
I would be marking it down a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But that has a lot to do with mentally. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been 1 or 2 times this year where on the back we're just like, let's just not even write down.
Yeah, let's just play. Unless the only time we write something down is if it's good, and I'll be like, "Oh, write that big old 2 on there."
What was that towel called? The tacky towel.
Oh, the tacky towel.
The tacky towel. So
Tacky towel.
I bought off of Amazon
Not a sponsor yet.
Not a sponsor.
But maybe they will be.
I bought off of Amazon a towel that you can put on your bare hands or glove. Now,
Don't put it on your bare hands.
Don't put it on. It says it has non-tacky material. It takes a couple holes for it to go away. But
It's like grabbing. It feels like grabbing a glue stick, and then your hands are kind of like sticky.
It's
from
like
those
Elmer's
glue or something.
it's like
a
those
tacked up
kitchen
Elmer's
mats
glue.
that you have for dishes.
That's what. Yeah, that's what it feels
but it's
like.
sticky.
Yeah, but it's like covered in like some tacky Elmer's glue or
like
something.
like some sap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some like weak sap. That
Some
like
sap spray.
Yeah, and you feel it, and it's like fuck, that's sticky as shit. And then
Yeah.
your gloves get a little sticky. I guarantee you, my driver's sticky as shit. My handle. I guarantee yours is too.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not bad.
I'm a firm gripper now.
It's not. You should be. You're hitting the ball well.
I have just taken the approach of I'm sick of when you strike the ground first like you shouldn't and your club twist because
Yeah.
your grip's a little loose. So right now I have a very firm grip on
Do
the.
you like the bag, Harry?
I have a very firm grip on
Look at
all of
Harry.
my.
He just sat right on top of the liquor store bag.
Loves it, dude.
Yeah, he loves it.
Cheers to Gary.
Cheers to Gary.
But yeah, I choked the fuck out of my clubs. But yeah, golfing was a lot of fun today. Hey, by the way, if you're watching, if you're live, if you're like, hey, drop a comment. If you want to ask us comments live, it's gonna go on the podcast on YouTube, which is
Yeah.
the JT Show.
Let us know what you want to talk about if you have something.
One thing that I do want to correct. I think this was 2 podcasts ago. I talked about a Gronk story that I heard on social media. So the story was that Gronk was so drunk that he would get dropped off at the facility with the key fob.
Yeah.
I don't know if he talked about this on the podcast, but then the trainers would wake him up in the morning with an IV, and then 2 hours
Yeah, we
later-
talked about it on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Julian Edelman, and I forget the second teammate because the second teammate was the first person to come out with it. He said utter bullshit. He said that, yeah, what you saw in Gronk with the fucking Buccaneers, that was a little different because it's COVID and you can get away with more.
Yeah.
But when he was on the Patriots, Gronk was a hard fucking competitor. He wasn't fucking off like that, and he was actually he would never.
I think what drives it is you hear all these stories like Gronk when he was a rookie coming into the league and just showing up the Patriots stuff.
2
and, like,
tight
not
end
getting
draft.
real fucking great tight end draft too if you take out personal shit.
Yeah.
But you hear all these stories of him fucking off and he dented the Lombardi. The only time you ever hear about Gronk stories in the offseason is him goofing off.
They're still a dent in that trophy, and that's why I
There's
love
still a
it.
dent in that trophy. Yeah, and they have it up on display.
Love it.
You only hear about Gronk goofing off.
Yeah.
You never hear, and that's the same thing like when you have a girlfriend and you're like, oh, you're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. You make like one comment that's like not 100% a compliment, and that's the thing they remember. They don't remember anything else. So it's kind of the same thing with Gronk. You hear all these stories of him goofing off, and that's like the viewpoint you get of him. But realistically, for 7 years with the Patriots, he was working under Bill Belichick, which is like the most hardcore coach in the league, according to most.
Yeah.
And there's no way he was Tom Brady's number 1 target for 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not working as hard as Tom.
Yeah.
Like, Tom was probably on his ass all the fucking time. Same thing with Julian. Tom used to bitch at Julian for doing fucking bicep curls. He's like, you don't need those. What are you doing?
Like,
He's like, what do you want, a beach body? I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, dog.
like those athletes at their time would wake up
I'm the best there is. Plain
Yeah.
and simple. I mean, I wake
100%.
up before and I piss excellent.
every
100%.
day. Every day. So sorry to the viewers if you were like, wow, that was an interesting. If you made it this far, you're like, holy shit, that was an interesting story. Utter bullshit. So
Yeah.
thanks Julian Edelman. Thanks the other teammate that brought it to light. We always want to check ourselves.
Gronk,
here.
you're the fucking GOAT. I love you forever and always.
Baby Gronk, cease and desist.
Yeah,
Nobody likes
quit
you.
that. Stop.
We're Team Gronk.
I got a couple of things.
Okay.
Nothing too big. This is kind of big. Tim the Tatman hit 5 million subs on YouTube the other day.
After 11 years.
Yeah, that's the most subs he's ever had. I mean, he's only been on YouTube for 2 years.
Yeah.
But after 11 years of streaming, he finally hit 5,000 subs.
Good for
And
Tim.
That's or 5 million subs. It's
Cheers
very,
to Timmy. Hey,
very fucking
Timmy.
impressive.
Out of all the disrespect that you get from Doctor and all the shenanigans, you are one of my favorite people to watch. You give me hope.
Yeah.
As a streamer, I need less freckles, more tats. But
Oh, and kudos on getting rid of the fucking top knot when you did.
yeah,
Because
I love the bald head.
The bald head's so
I'm
much
a
better.
guy where if my hair goes, I'm gonna Joe Rogan. I'm gonna
Dude.
Tim the Tan Man.
Huge news. I had my first gray hair on this side of my fucking head, right in here.
Look at those locks.
It was my first fucking gray hair ever. I am almost 30 years old, a couple months shy, and I had my first gray hair. And it was a decently long one. It was a good
Harry
size
Watch.
one. Yeah, Harry's around there. He's over there.
Yeah, he's on the stream. I told dude, I bought this cat window. You can see it in the ledge, so we can have Gary views while we fucking chill it on the new pod format for a while. By the way, we are one camera away from me being
Multiple
able
cameras.
to. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think what I'll do is I'll set it up on that corner.
Yeah,
and
I
this
mean
corner,
that's right here and right there, and then if
and we'll
we,
just
yeah,
keep kicking it back and forth.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. Some other news.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
That's the wrong meme.
It's his first day, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I said
We're deducting 10% of your pay.
I said I used the wrong meme, so here's what I get for that.
So that was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
So anyways, with his poor fucking podcasting skills, we're gonna move to Draymond Watch. Now,
Draymond watch.
we discussed that Jordan Poole.
Dre watch.
Dre Watch.
Green watch.
Draymond.
I like green watch.
Green Watch.
Green watch sounds cooler.
So, reports are that he's going to sign a 3-year contract for $100 million with the Golden State Warriors. But also, I've seen reports that one of the two teams that, so very close. One of the two teams that he could essentially land with, if it wasn't the Golden State Warriors, was the Detroit Pistons. And I will say this right here. I'm a huge supporter of... That was for Pepper. I'm a huge supporter of Draymond Green because he is one of the best defensive players of his era.
100%.
And, back at you.
Is this what our podcast turned into? Just games while
Just
we fucking
landmine.
talk?
But if Draymond doesn't land with Golden State, where do you think he lands?
I hope he goes to Sacramento just to give him a
We're
little,
done.
just to give him a little kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Allegedly, the reports that I read this week, that the reason why Draymond punched, and again I say the word allegedly,
That's why I brought up Sacramento.
was because there's, we all saw the debacle of the punch on the online cams because it was public footage that was leaked of the facility. But allegedly what was said between Jordan Poole from Michigan and Draymond Green from Michigan State, they were chirping back and forth, but the two comments that sent it over the top was Draymond said, "Whatever, man, you're going to be on Sacramento next year anyways." And then Jordan Poole responded allegedly at some time saying, "Oh, your name on Twitter is Money Green, but no one wants to sign you after this year, so what fucking money do you have? So you should get a new handle." Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And that's what set Draymond off.
Which is hilarious. What a fucking weak-minded individual
To
to get heated up like that. Like, I know it takes a certain type of person to be a professional athlete.
I've never had
At the
words
same
make me
time,
hit somebody.
Never
Because I
once.
always think in my head, I have to get swung at first for this to be a totally legitimate fight.
Even then, it's like, what? I've always had this thought process. What the fuck do I have to fight about with you?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Draymond Green,
I don't
and
like the
you're
way
Jordan
you
Poole,
think, so I just want to prove that I'm
I'm
stronger than
Draymond
you.
Green. I have what, 2-3 rings at this point?
4.
4
3,
rings.
4. No, they 3. They won the year he got punched.
Yeah,
in
I
the
have
face.
3. I have 3 rings at this point, and I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck
Or
you,
was
bro.
that this year?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Well, he had either 3 or 4 at the time.
Whatever, 3
Yeah.
or 4 rings at the time. Like, fuck you, dog. Like, just as many rings as Bird. Like, what do you fresh out of college? Shut the fuck up. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Also, who was it that was someone that was discussing Larry Bird if he played in today's era?
He said he wouldn't make it.
he would play in the European League.
Yeah, I think that's absolute horseshit.
I
He
think
dropped
that's-
47 with his left hand.
I think that's utterly horseshit just because he plays that mid-range game so well, and
It would translate. It would be.
I think he'd do better.
I think he would too.
Because
I think he'd be more fluid, especially because like.
Here's the thing, Larry Bird's 6'8".
Yeah, he's a tall motherfucker.
How hard did Larry Bird get fucked up in the paint
That's what I'm saying.
compared to what they are allowed to do today?
Yes.
And Larry Bird's not going to be less physical in the paint.
No.
He's going to be the same motherfucker
He's going
in
to
the
have
paint.
to change his game up a little bit, obviously.
Yeah.
He's going to have to.
Defensively.
But, yeah, defensively he's going to have to change up. Offensively, he's not really going to have to change much because if he goes up for a shot, he's not going to get punched in the neck. He's making all those shots.
One of my favorite things...
Same thing with all those guys.
One of my-
People talking shit about the old school players saying how they wouldn't stand a chance this game. Are there better athletes today? Yes.
Yes.
Are they supposed to be better athletes because they're getting touched a lot less? It's the same argument with like Dan Marino versus the quarterbacks today.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Marino in today's league, he might go off for 6K.
Yeah,
He fucking might.
because you can't touch him.
You can't touch him.
Yeah.
Ever. He knows he can't get hit in the fucking head.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah.
All those throws are going to be confident.
Yeah.
Not just half of them. All of them.
And
It's the same thing with going up for a shot. Same thing with fucking Jordan.
it's like the Kobe argument of those players.
Well, Kobe kind of lived through both eras.
Well, right. So Kobe was like, you're trying to compare the best players overall, but
Mm-hmm.
each game was elevated because of the previous generation.
Yeah.
So
You're
it's
chasing that, and then once
so-
you reach it, there's nowhere else to go but up. You
so
have to change
if you
the
have
ceiling.
if you have a sport where your best player in the sport was from 30 years ago, that's probably not a good sport anymore.
Yeah, it's just like the sprinters from the 70s.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, that sprinter would have no business sprinting today, it's like, well, no shit.
You're right.
Because
that's
a
a-
different fucking game. They're a
that's a-
whole 2 seconds faster now.
Yes.
Everybody is.
It's because of genetics.
It's genetics. It's evolution.
Yeah.
It's the evolution of the game. It's the evolution of the training, and it's
Especially
how you
with
were
spring,
trained
it's
at a
the
young
evolution
age.
of man.
It's how you were trained at a young age.
Yes.
And I imagine you have a young Larry Bird, like 12, 13-year-old Larry Bird, and you're like, hey.
Vinny's on the pod.
What up, Vinny boy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, we're gonna come hang out with you tomorrow, Vinny. Hey,
Vinny's on his second podcast.
that's what's up.
Hi, Vinny.
Hey, Earl, we were just talking about if Larry Bird could play in today's NBA. What do you think?
He's averaging 40 a game.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're fucking saying,
That's what I'm
dude.
thinking, too.
Dude, that's
You
what.
can't touch him when he drives.
Three in high school for a reason.
Yeah. You
You
think?
can't touch him when he drives. He's not going to get punched in the neck every time he goes up for a fadeaway. He's going to make it.
Dude. And at the rate that they shoot threes now, he would be slapping them.
Yeah.
Vinny on the pod, dude. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Vinny.
Vinny say JT show.
If he did, I would drive.
It'd be nuts. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, I like your dinosaur shirt.
Better be wearing some red, white, and blue tomorrow.
I am.
He's wired right now. Dude, I think he drinks some Mountain Dew boogie milk.
Oh, nice.
Some
He's
dude.
having a good time. That's the closest he gets to moonshine.
Oh, Earl, one more question for you. If Draymond Green does not sign with the Golden State Warriors, what team will he sign for?
He already signed a 4-year, $100 million extension.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, it's
Golden
already-
State,
it's
it's
already
already in the
there.
books.
All
So okay.
Breaking news.
Breaking news from Earl. Brought to you by Duke's Wells.
Brought to you by
Duke's
Wells.
Wells.
There it is.
All right, I gotta go, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Vinny. Bye, Earl.
It's great. Got a little video.
Great,
So
great.
Larry Bird, high school.
Yeah, imagine your son is a young Larry Bird, and you know it's a young Larry Bird. You know what his ceiling is.
Yes. Playing in high
You're
school.
putting him in every AAU game you can. You're putting him in every training camp. You're like, hey,
and
get your grades right in school.
And-
Everything else you do, you're living, breathing, eating basketball.
He won't
you can
have-
do whatever you want in the offseason.
he won't have the Bobby Knight issue either.
No, he won't.
So
Bobby Knight's gone.
So essentially,
And also, he doesn't have to go play for Bobby Knight. He can go play for the overtime league or whatever the fuck he wants
Yeah,
to do.
and
He can
so-
go play in Argentina for a year and go off for 60 a fucking game.
that's my favorite thing about Larry Bird, is that he played for probably one of the top 20 coaches in NCAA basketball
him.
history. Hated him so much that he went and played for the other Indiana State college in the state, then played Magic Johnson in 1979,
And then lost.
and then lost. But still took Illinois State to the Natty.
I don't understand how that worked because I've been watching Winning Time, and I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in. First episode is all about drafting Magic, and Magic was the first overall draft pick, but Larry was already signed with the Celtics at that point as a rookie. How the fuck did that happen?
So I know that there's that thing where you're drafted by the team, but you haven't signed with the team because I haven't agreed on a number.
Yeah, so both of them were rookies coming in to the same year.
Right.
But
So
Magic went through the draft. Larry didn't.
So essentially, I think it boils down to one of those things where the Lakers have the number 1. They are known to go for Magic. So Larry's already...
They weren't supposed to. That was the whole narrative.
Okay.
Nobody wanted Magic.
Okay. So, but Larry Bird probably wasn't number 1 overall for the Lakers. So the Celtics were probably like, hey, the Lakers aren't going to pick you, but we want you for our team.
Celtics weren't even in the top 5.
So how did it happen?
That's what I'm saying. I
Okay.
have no idea.
Weird.
So in the lottery picks, they flipped the coin to see who got first pick, and it was between Chicago and L.A., and then L.A. won the coin toss. And so they drafted Magic, and fucking Chicago drafted whoever the fuck they drafted. I don't know who the fuck it was. Stockton was also out of that same draft. He went in like the top 10 or whatever.
Right.
But they talked about it, and they said, well, we know who the true number 1 overall is. It's Larry, but Boston already took him. But they didn't have the number 1 overall pick.
Let's look at this up.
Yeah, let's Google it. Because watching it, I was so confused because I knew they came into the league at the same time because I think Magic won the Rookie of the Year. Magic obviously came into a better system, or not a better system, but a better team.
So here it is.
All right.
Bird was selected by Boston Celtics with the 6th overall pick in the 1978 NBA draft. He did not sign with the Celtics immediately. Instead, he played out his final season at Indiana State.
Interesting.
So you were allowed
he
to do
was
the baseball
drafted the
thing.
year before,
so it must have been the thing
and then
where
played collegiate one more
where
year.
like
Interesting.
as the Yankees, you can so in hockey and baseball, this is still legal. I know in hockey 100%, and I'm pretty sure it works the same in baseball. You can draft a kid out of high school, and then he can develop in college. So
Interesting. But you own the rights to his pro contract.
Yes. Okay. So there are players who get drafted at like 18 from Canada.
Don't they have to declare for the draft, or is that something that changed recently with basketball and that kind of stuff?
It's always been changed with basketball. That was around the time when...
Well, not since Bird's
So
era,
the last big change is that LeBron James was the last player to get drafted out of high school.
For now. And I think that'll change back.
No, you can't.
I think it'll change back.
Yeah,
eventually.
right.
Yeah,
so
not right this second.
Yeah,
but
now they have you have to play 1 year of something. College, professional, something outside.
We have to be 19, I think is what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you graduate high school at 19, technically...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hockey, you can, and baseball too, you can get drafted. You can play in college to get developed, and it doesn't cost the team anything. You still own the rights.
So you still have your eligibility. That's crazy.
And then you can just be like, I'm going to go play for this team, and then
that's crazy.
Yeah, so you can, you can do that for baseball for sure, and I'm pretty sure hockey's still the same, where you can still go play in college.
Well, that's how it happened. I was so confused watching that because they were like, yeah, they already have him.
Yeah,
they're going to sign him. And he wanted to get just as much as him.
So what probably
600,000.
happened is he got drafted, so they own the rights to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He still went and played his year in college, but then he didn't declare for the draft.
That was the thing with Magic too, because they said in his interviews with the team, they said that they were going to take him, pay him $400,000, even though he wanted $600,000. And he was like, "Well, if you don't give me what I want, I'll just not declare, and I'll stay in college another year, finish up my degree like my mom wants, and I'll go win another championship, and I'll go somewhere else next year."
Yeah.
So that means that Larry must have agreed to declare for the draft after his freshman year of college.
Sophomore.
Well, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Got drafted and then was like, hey, put a hold on that. I want to play one more year, play for a NCAA title. Got his butt kicked in the title by Magic. And then was like, all right, sign me for $600,000.
I love that show you're talking about too, when they have Larry dipping and he's spitting in the PBR can.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
They have him dipping in one of the games, and he comes to the sideline and fucking rips it out. I was like, oh my god,
Can you
dude,
imagine
that's
doing
so cool.
a shot in a fucking NBA game?
Fuck Larry Legend, baby.
You're swallowing half that.
Larry Legend. Magic was definitely a better point guard than Larry was, but Larry didn't play the point.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was the enhanced games that are happening. So, Olympic.
All right, so we've talked about this before on the podcast.
Yes, about hypothetically.
And hypothetically, I'm 100% for leagues coming out for like players that didn't make it, that spent their life dedicated to the sport.
Who need a little extra supplements to
not even that, just like couldn't quite make it in the NFL. Couldn't quite make it in the MLB, and instead of playing for the AAA team at a chance for like 15 years down the road to maybe play in an MLB game, they get to sign a contract that's bigger than what they'd get in AAA to go play in the Enhanced League, whatever it's called. I like that, the Enhanced League. I like calling it that.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. I'm 100% down. I think all sports, all categories, female, males, all of it. I think if they get enough players that are down to do it, that'd be sick. They should even do an Olympics. Mm-hmm. No holds barred, nothing. But
I just
you're
want
just
to
allowed
see
to do whatever you
record
want.
shattered, and then I see the real Olympics and be like, wow, man, if you guys can only do PEDs.
Imagine how fast do you think humans can run the Hundo?
On PEDs?
Yeah, because what's the record right now? It's like a 9.3 or an 8.3 or something like that. What the fuck is it?
I think you're either hitting a 9 flat or like a 9-1.
Because what's the record? It's like 9.36
For 100?
or 9.3, yeah.
World
Or
record.
9.1. All right, let me guess. I'm going to say 9.17 is the fucking record. It's probably in the 9.2s, but...
9.58 seconds.
Oh,
so
so
you're probably
off.
hitting 9 flats on PEDs.
Man, and then imagine if those dudes that are hitting the 9.5s
The
took
women's
PEDs.
is 10.49, which is probably faster than I can run now.
100%. There's
Yeah.
no way you're doing it in under 11.
I would
shot.
I would be down to run 100 meters on a track.
I'm putting the over-under
12.
at 12.5.
I'll go under 12.5.
I'm taking the over by a mile.
Yeah.
I think you'll be at 13.1. I think that's right where you're at.
Okay.
We'll try it. We'll try it out. Fucking clip it, chat.
Let's try it. Let's take some notes on that. Yeah.
Write it down. I like that. And for me, I think I'm sitting at a solid 15. I don't think I'm anywhere close. I don't think I have the sprinter in me anymore. He's in there somewhere, but he's hiding under 80 pounds of fucking bullshit.
You're not a eco boost. You're more of a
I'm
diesel.
no longer a skill position player. Throw me at tight end, maybe. Put me on the D line.
If you were a tight end, you'd be a blocking package.
I think I'd surprise people.
You'd be no. I mean,
I think I would be
I think
I'd be a Dallas Clark style person, like a good blocking tight end.
You'd
That's
probably
not
be like a
vertical
Rodgers
threat.
or Rogers, dude.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. I make some big plays, mainly in there to block.
Antonio Gates.
Oh, that's a vertical threat.
Yeah.
That's a vertical threat.
You're right.
Oh man. Yeah, so I really like the enhanced sports.
Me too.
I think it's a good thing. I think
Loud noises.
I think you let MLB players or enhanced MLB players use fucking metal bats, because why not? Let them use metal bats. Let them use fucking. Let them use
This is dangerous for the pitchers, though.
That's fine. Let them use pine tar. They're allowed to use pine tar on the balls. They're allowed to use it. Give them a substance that's tacky. You're allowed to use it. You're just good to go. Maybe put the pitcher back like another 5 feet. Obviously, you're gonna have to extend the outfield by like 100 fucking yards. Like just make it like 450 to the corners.
Yeah.
And then you just have your 3 outfielders still out there because they're all on PDs. They're fast as fuck. Mm-hmm. And then you just got that big motherfucker that weighs like 280. He's like 6'1", weighs 280, sitting at first base, and he just cranks home runs.
Right.
God, that'd be so much fun to watch. It'd be so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
They've made video games like that. They had that NFL game where you could take PEDs before games, but it would like fuck up your health a little bit.
Right.
So there was like a fine line that you could get to make yourself like big and strong and still be able to catch shit without getting killed on your first play.
Right.
And when you got hit, it was like a Mortal Kombat style thing. They'd hit you and it'd be like, oh, you fractured your spine. You're out for 4 weeks unless you take this pill. And you're like, well, I'm taking the pill.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm coming back next week.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that game was called, but it was a good game. I think Lawrence Taylor was on the cover of it, if I remember right. No idea what it was called though. Dogs on the pod. So this is an old one, but Dean Smith, he saved up throughout his career. He saved up $36,000 to give every one of his former players at North Carolina $200 so they could have a nice dinner on him.
That's
it's an
cool.
old one.
Yeah.
It's from like 2-3 years ago, but I saw it on Instagram today, and there's a picture of him and Michael Jordan. He hand wrote checks individually to each one of them
That's cool.
for $200.
That's cool.
And Jordan said he saved his and put it in a case.
That's
He's not
cool.
gonna cash it. He's just gonna look at it.
That's cool.
But yeah, pretty dope story out of him. The only other thing I have is fucking Rihanna just became the first female artist with 1 billion streams on 10 songs on Spotify.
That's cool.
Fucking impressive.
Good for a cheers to Rihanna.
Yeah, cheers to Rihanna.
Cut Stream Girl.
My fucking favorite. We got one more pod shot.
Yeah, one more pod shot. That's really all I got. We're still playing Legend of Zelda. Cut, you visit New York next week.
I do. I'll talk about that a little bit. So my boy, one of my fucking best friends, Scotty, he fucking
Scotty Too Hottie.
Scotty. I've known him for fucking ever. I've known him since I was like 10, maybe even younger than that, maybe like 9. I've known him for a minute. He's my boy from Roseville, California. He's doing really well in his fucking career. I don't know what he does for a living, but it was enough to move to Manhattan and buy an apartment and still be making buku bucks out there. But yeah, shout out him. He bought tickets, VIP tickets, on the 8th. We are going to go see Yellow Card at the rooftop fucking Pier something. It's like Pier 19 or Pier 79. I think it's Pier 19. It's a rooftop venue in New York City on the water, and it overlooks like the fucking river or whatever is there. And the VIP tickets, so we're going to be able to meet Yellow Card.
That's tight.
And possibly the fucking openers, and one of the openers is Mayday Parade, which, if you guys don't fucking know, I'm a former emo kid, and Mayday Parade was all over my playlist back in 2006, 2007. Super stoked. I'm more excited to see Mayday than I am Yellow Card. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. Probably going to see Star Wars on Broadway, which will be fucking sick. I'll get to see a Broadway show. Might get to watch Troy Bond do some comedy at the Broadway comedy fucking spot in New York City. That'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll take some pictures. We'll post some pictures on the next pod. Yeah, fucking New York City. It's my first time spending more than 12 hours in New York.
Sick. Cheers to that for the 137th.
Yikes. 137.
137 in the books. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.
Ooh.